right, let's start the meeting. Any need for executive session?
I have actually 3 legal matters, Madam Chair. An Act 250 issue, a police department issue, and a highway department issue.
All right, any need to amend the agenda? No?
Move we accept the agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, anything from minutes of last meeting?
Oh, yeah.
He says, where are they?
That's a very good point. I didn't make the copies of the minutes on the fancy paper.
Oh, boy.
Why don't you approve them and we will sign them before the evening's out?
Okay. Make a motion to approve them
I'll
without
make a motion to
signing them?
approve 'em, I guess.
I'll
don't
second
know.
I
it.
don't either. All in favor, say aye.
Usually, but
Aye.
Yikes.
you don't have to, I don't think, but.
All right. Any,
There's no signature, you do.
It's a, do you?
You do have to
Say
make-
she might
you
be-
do.
Well, we
Alright.
did it, so you're legal.
We agreed to sign
Yeah.
it, so that's
So we agreed to.
good enough.
thanks. Any questions on the orders?
I couldn't help but notice there seems to be quite a few tax overpayments.
Yes.
We have that every year for some reason or other.
What happens is we sometimes get money from 2 different sources for the same taxpayer. The taxpayer themselves and sometimes the state gives us belated income sensitivity payments toward their taxes. You know, when you do your homestead declaration, you tell them your household income and sometimes you get a rebate or a support from the state.
Gotta refund it.
That's right.
I noticed that caught my eye there, that the town share of Omnia's tax bill there, but it was like, I guess I never seen that before.
I can tell you what it is. It's a one-time only. They send the tax bills out to whoever owned the property as of April 1st. That's kind of the
Yeah.
law day for taxes. And Omnia sold us that 1.9 acre piece
Yeah.
later than April, but before
Yeah.
the new fiscal year and all that. So we agreed at the time and prior to the closing that because Pittsford will own the property for the entire year,
Yeah.
starting in July, this new tax year, that we ought to pay that portion of their tax bill.
Next year, that probably won't be in there.
That's right, because it'll be a town property which will be exempt from taxes. Good question, though.
Well, I just caught my eye.
Yep, yep. If there are no questions, we can circulate them for signatures. It's the front page of all 3.
Oh, I did have one question. M&M Lawn Care mowing the rescue squad, I thought we had Grant Blow mowing all our property.
was a job that was done before the July 1st switch over.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'll just put this there in case you need it for others.
There's just 2 here.
There should be 3, actually.
Missed one.
And this one.
There we go.
There, thanks.
That'll get you busy.
Yeah.
Details that Linda does, but I forgot to do it myself this time.
I was gonna say, John's missing Linda.
And payroll.
That's all.
That's it.
Seems like there should be more.
Well, usually we have a separate set of orders tonight, but Pat's on vacation and Helen didn't see anything that was time sensitive.
I'm not complaining.
No, that's fine.
I know, we usually are signing more things.
Yeah.
Town managers report.
Thank you, Alicia. Daniels Construction completed its work and demobilized on Tuesday, July 13th on the Kendall Hill Road deck repair project. Thankfully, we were billed based on their best-case scenario quote. And so the total cost to the town after Omia's contribution is something like $57,000. So that's a pleasant surprise. The highway crew informs me, and I saw it for myself today, that the milling and filling project at the southern end of West Creek Road has begun, with asphalt grinding now underway. I think we've seen one of the 2 days that they had planned. You will recall from the highway foreman's explanation that the asphalt millings will remain on the roadbed, fabric paper will be laid down, and additional stone will be trucked in to build up the elevation of the road. Obviously, when resources become available, we hope to be able to finish the project with paving. However, we can probably all agree that even a gravel surface will make for a smoother ride than we've had recently. The project engineers for the sidewalk scoping study walked possible sidewalk sites, and some of that involved the town manager and highway foreman on June 18th. There was a follow-up status conference on June 29th, and there will be a local concerns meeting to be held at 7:30 on Wednesday, August 18th, toward the end of the evening's select board meeting. This will be well advertised. I think you have a flyer about the event in your packet tonight. And it represents a great opportunity for community residents to learn about the sidewalk scoping study and to offer their opinions regarding potential future sidewalk projects. In conjunction with that local concerns meeting, there's also going to be a survey on the town's website page devoted to the sidewalk scoping study. Anybody can visit it at pittsfordsidewalkstudy.com and take about a 7 or 8 question survey about what do you think about a sidewalk on this stretch of road or that, and if not on any of those, do you have any suggestions where you think sidewalks would be a good idea in town? So look for that as well to make your voice heard. On Wednesday, July 14th, the town manager, recreation director, and state representative Butch Shaw met with 2 new members of the Police Academy leadership team, the executive director, Heather Simons, and the administrator, Lindsay Theverge. We got acquainted discussing the many ways in which we've cooperated and collaborated in the past, and we all pledged to renew and maintain the very good, long-standing cooperative relationship we've had between the academy and the town. Ms. Simons would be happy to address the select board for introductions at an upcoming meeting. I've also put her in touch with the Vermont Town Managers Association, which next has a conference in October, at which she'd get a chance to kind of give her vision for the academy and discuss policing in general with 40, 50, 60 town managers across the state. Larry McDuff has completed work installing a new security surveillance system at the town offices. I've heard from the Pittsford Village Farm that they've settled on September 18th as the date for their next Touch a Truck event, with a rain date of September 25th. Planning is now underway, according to organizer Jeff Carlton, for the next tractor parade in town. He has asked permission to park a couple of tractors at Pittsford Day and to solicit support and participation in this year's follow-up to last year's inaugural event. Finally, the town manager will be out of the office Friday, the 23rd, and Monday, the 26th.
Thanks. Anybody have any questions for John? When is the bridge work starting, though? So do we not have a
We
is there a
don't,
date
no.
to that? Just
No, we're
just
back,
still-
the ball's back with the engineer to talk about soils on the other sites we looked at, particularly West Creek Road as the likeliest candidate.
I meant
You're
for the
ta-
truck route, though.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the Fire Hill Bridge. The bridge at the mobile stations is going out to bid in the fall with a spring startup date. That's the most detail that I have at this moment. But we'll learn more certainly when Carolyn Coda from V-Trans updates
No,
us.
the truck route.
I'm sorry.
Well, you got almost every bridge in town, John.
Well, now moving on to the third bridge. The answer is that work's been done.
Done, yeah.
Oh, so what, I guess I haven't driven over there in a while.
Okay. They basically jackhammered up two relatively large areas where there was rebar coming through the road and there was bad potholing
Okay.
in the concrete deck. And they filled it with concrete with little gaps for NICOM, which came by later to install plug joints
Okay,
on two sections of bridge. So that work's been done.
good. I know, because there was some concern that once they started digging, it was going to be much more extensive.
Right, and that's why I was
right? So,
pleased
yeah,
to mention that it was the kind of the best case scenario.
great.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
Now, has that,
It's okay.
and I'll continue with that, has that bridge, where does that stand statewide as far as moving up the
Butch
ladder?
will confirm that we continue to do everything we can to talk to whoever we can at every opportunity to encourage V-Trans to put this very important bridge into their book of upcoming projects. They've got a long queue ahead of us, but we're kind of trying to jump the line based on the importance economically of the bridge to the whole region, and in fact, the state. So if you'd like, maybe this would be a chance for Butch to give us his 2 cents on that.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So I have had the opportunity to talk to the assets manager for the Agency of Transportation about our bridge, and you all know that that bridge has been deemed the most important bridge in Rutland County by the Regional Planning Commission. And AOT is fully aware of that designation. They have launched a new program for identifying projects that are of the highest importance, and they're in the process now of currently finishing the first round of projects, which were culverts, paving, and some guardrail work statewide. Their next round, which they believe has started now, excuse me, will include bridges, and they expect to have a list of potential projects out by the fall, early fall, we're hoping for. They understand the economic importance of that bridge. Economic factors were never used in bridge replacement or repairs previously, and they now understand through some cajoling and whatever that bridge is the most economically important bridge in probably all of Rutland County, as it affects the entire economy of certainly northern Rutland County and to some extent southern Rutland County. A lot of this came about as a result of the failure of the bridge in Poultney, where they had a bridge that was in fair condition and they had 2 girders break off. So we're hopeful. We're hopeful that our bridge will make this year's list. And as of now, that's about all I can promise. But I can tell you that I'm in reasonably often conversations with the asset manager at EOT, informing him of the importance of our bridge. So this is like pre-scoping study list, but my goal is to get the bridge written down somewhere that it has to be done, and currently that's not happening. So we want to get on their list to start looking at that bridge. And I don't hold out any hope we're going to see any action for the next 5 years, but at least we want to get on their list. And that's my goal, and I hope it's the goal of the town. So that's kind of where we stand.
Certainly the goal of the RPC, and every year we rank the bridges and which ones should be dealt with next by V-Trans, and there's been pretty good consensus for the last few years that our bridge belongs on the top of the list.
Yeah.
John, what the inspections that the state does on these bridges,
Mm-hmm.
have they projected a lifespan for that bridge, or that's kind of never?
They don't do
they don't
that
do
kind
that?
of quantification, but they do have a long laundry list of items that they give opinions about. And it was one of those notations that noticed the rusting rebar coming out of it, along with personal observations by all the people driving over the bridge, that got us in touch with VTrans, and we had the meeting with Butch and myself and the local district person, Brian Sanderson, who then put us in touch with the bridge inspection team, who came out and all spoke to us. You know, they're kind of jaded. They see so many bad bridges that when we're all standing on the bridge and a truck goes by and we're bouncing up and down, they say, "Oh, that's no problem." And maybe it's not, but it certainly gives you some excitement that you don't want. Is that right, Butch?
Well, that's very true, John, but we hope that the bridge will move when there's traffic on it, because it takes a lot of stress off the bridge. But,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's all fun. It's all fun to be there when the bridge bounces.
It does bounce.
All right, thank you. Select board member remarks? None. Public comment? Guessing no. All right, then, we'll skip ahead to, the ZBA vacancy, since Mr. Simpson is here.
Yes, Mr. Simpson is here, in case you were wondering who our guest was tonight. He's given us a nice letter explaining his background and his interest in serving on the ZBA, but maybe you'd like to address the board with some further comments. Help yourself.
Well, I've been a resident since 1981, and I ran a construction company for more than 30 years, and then I did facilities work for Omnia. I did the Proctor and the rental houses, and so I've got a good background as far as how you do construction, what takes place. And so I figured zoning would be something right up my line.
Awesome.
And we have had no other applicants to date.
Mhm.
And I invited Mr. Simpson, if he wanted to come in tonight, to say his piece, and that the board may be in a position, if it wishes to make an appointment.
Okay.
How long has the notice been out?
I'd say a couple of months.
Yeah.
This is after the death. This
Been a
is
while.
after the death of.
I'd make a motion, we accept his letter.
I'll second that, yes.
All
Yeah.
right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
They're in.
That's when we say congratulations and condolences. No, we
Same
appreciate
breath.
we appreciate you helping us out.
Okay.
And I'll put you in touch with the chairman. I'll write you both an email tomorrow introducing you to each other,
All right.
and maybe giving you a little bit of information about what your role will be.
Okay.
And just confirm that we always like anybody who wants to get a training through seminars and what have you.
Charles
We're
Simpson.
happy to pay for those to get you up to speed as much as you care to take.
Okay.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. All right, and then, I guess let's take care of assessors' errors and omissions.
We have basically two different types of assessor errors and omissions. The first has to do, and I will send this form to you so you have parcel information and all that stuff. The first has to do with two parcels owned by Ray and Kelly Forrest that, for purposes of assessment, need to be assessed together as one contiguous parcel. So let me just read from Lisa Wright's memo. I'm requesting approval of this error and omission for these parcels now both owned by Ray and Kelly Forrest as noted below. These are contiguous parcels that should be combined for the 2021 grand list. In addition, we were recently made aware of a survey filed prior to April 1st, more clearly defining the acreage for both parcels. The entire contiguous parcel is being enrolled in current use, so I will have to combine this one for that reason. in addition to the law requiring that contiguous parcels in the state of Vermont, and the need to be consistent in this practice. So what she's suggesting is that parcel 1915 be combined with parcel 0434, with 1915 being deactivated or rendered inactive, and the entire parcel being known as 0434. The net reduction to the combination and adjustment based on the survey would be a $7,600 reduction. The
Motion for that.
You can, if you want to take them one by one, or yeah, I can explain all of them to you if you'd
Yeah,
like
let's
to.
do them all together.
Do them as a
Put 'em
group.
all.
The next one has to do with properties owned by Brian Gecha, and her memo says, I am also requesting approval of this error and omission for these parcels now owned by Brian Gecha. These are contiguous parcels that should be combined for the 2021 grand list. As stated above, we need to make this correction based on the law regarding contiguous parcels in the state of Vermont and the need to be consistent in this practice. This has to do with parcel 0647 being made inactive and added to parcel 0310. There's no change to the grand list based on these changes. That amount is $0. Then what you have is a collection of several other errors and omissions having to do with name changes that were filed prior to April 1st. She says this error and omission request is advisory only for these 4 parcels, as a legal record made prior to April 1st is in place, and these are corrections based on that legal record. So on parcel 1715, the parcel was the parcel was in error, not made non-taxable for this year. This is the Pittsford First Response building, which became exempt when the town took over ownership. And they've changed the way it's designated in their grand list. Parcel 1006, owned by Derek and Sarah Blow. There's a name change for Sarah from Byrne Ritter to Blow, filed in 2019, but it didn't make it to the lister's office. Parcel 0838, owned by Tina Reynolds. The name change from Johnson to Reynolds, filed in 2021 and entered incorrectly in our records. And then finally, for parcel 0056, a name change for Marie from Moyer to Bannon, filed in 2021. Those last 4 are name changes, and strictly speaking, she doesn't need select board approval for those, but it doesn't hurt, she says, to get them all approved.
I'd make the motion that we allow those changes to all take place.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye. Oh,
Aye.
sorry, you want,
Can I?
Have some discussion
No, I
first?
just got, yeah, well, as long as we're on this. There's 45 non-taxable properties in Pittsford. Are those all town-owned properties?
Not necessarily. I imagine some of them might be religious institutions that are exempt from
Churches are different.
property taxation.
But
Okay.
But if you'd
I
like,
just-
yeah, I'd be interested as well to know exactly which ones those are and for what purpose.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know. And then my other question is, there's almost $9 million in exemptions from our grand list.
There is
And-
a lot of military veteran exemptions. The first $40,000 of value, I think, on
Yeah.
some properties are entitled to that.
Right,
That might be
but
part of it.
my question is, there's like 8 million in current use. Is that part of that 9 million? I
I
would
do think that has an effect on it for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's, yeah, okay. No, I mean, it's only 2.5% of our grand list, but
Yep, yep.
it's still, when you look at it, it's kind of a big number.
Yep.
Jumps out.
I will
Now,
see if
that
I can get a
8
listing
million,
of
is that picked up by the state, or is that completely lost to everybody?
Good question. Well, certainly, well, the landowner gets a tax deduction by having the property in current use because it's assessed at a much lower value.
Right.
That's the extent of my knowledge of the current use.
I think the state is supposed to reimburse the towns, but
I was just curious
I'm
whether
not
it,
sure.
whether
We have
it,
land, it's in that, probably you do too.
no, I don't, no.
I can get that answer for you as well.
I should-
Yeah, no,
I
it could
should
just
know.
be, just so people know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
again, it's not a,
Important.
well, it's, you know, it's 2.5%, but still, it's,
Adds up.
well, it adds up and, yeah.
got it. I will follow up with you.
Okay.
Because the current use, going back, it's been in effect for quite a number of years, but the current use, the funding was kind of jerked around, I guess you'd want to say, at one time. Some years they didn't fund it fully, and some years they did. And there was times when it wasn't funded that you could pull your land out of it without being penalized. But they made some changes to that. I'm not thoroughly up to date on it, but they did make some changes where it's supposedly, they're doing, supposed to be, the state's doing a better job, and they're holding up their end of the bargain. And that doesn't allow people to get out without a penalty,
Yeah.
but.
All right, we had a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so we have the right-of-way access permit.
Yes. Jim and Patty Morale want to add a drive on their property. Chad has gone out to the site and reviewed the spot and has approved it, recommended that the highway, that the driveway be sloped so water doesn't run off and affect the town road. And that's the request.
Will you send that to me as well?
Yeah, sure.
Motion to approve?
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so I guess update on Pittsford Day.
Yeah, I'd say that we had a meeting on July 8th, our second organizational meeting. We will have a third one in August, but it does appear things are falling into place nicely. We've arranged for several food trucks to be there. We have plans to move forward with another silent auction, car show, kids' games. We've worked with the people providing those and the kid entertainment. We've got several musical acts, and I'm told as of today that the Army 40th Band will come down and play patriotic songs for us. And we're just going to try to work out the schedule so we can have, you know, smooth transition between one band and the other band, because that'll make, I believe, 4 different musical acts that day.
Wow.
Oh, well.
So it should be a music-filled day. Saturday, September 4th, of course, at 2 o'clock is when Pittsford Day begins, but of course there are morning road races before that. We still haven't heard yet about the helicopter display, but that hasn't been as much of a problem in the past as the band, so I'm hopeful that that'll happen
I
too.
also spoke a couple days ago with state police on the dog coming again, so Trooper Schultz, I think's his name.
Yeah.
He told me, John, to have you follow up with him.
Okay,
He's pretty sure he can make it,
good.
so that's always a big hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope for a good day.
Yeah, you said it.
Oh my God.
Well,
It
hopefully
better be
by
rained
then
out
the
by
rain will
then.
be done.
Hopefully, yeah.
Better- Oh my goodness. All right, I guess, anybody have anything else? Butch, anything else? Thanks, okay.
He's
All
not
right.
in his hospital bed tonight.
No, he's up.
Yeah, he's up.
All right, and
I
that,
decided,
oh,
I decided to try to stay awake for the whole meeting.
it was only 30
Yeah,
minutes,
that's why
so.
we kept it so short.
Yeah.
29.
29 and a half.
29, yeah, 29.
All right, then that ends the open part of our meeting.